Hi guys, this is Real on Real News Forever and Sovereign News on Odyssey.com and sometimes YouTube and sometimes Rumble. The CDC Director has admitted that there are a growing number of cases of monkeypox, a supposed virus that infects men who have sex with men. It has been found in more and more children. That didn't take long at all, and I'm not surprised. On July 27th, yesterday, Involve.com had this article written by John W. Whitehead. This horrible story is only one symptom of the real disease that is child sex trafficking. So how does a child get monkeypox when it's man to man, supposedly? So here's the article. Democrats and MSM frantically attempt to hide monkeypox outbreak among children, uncovering pedophilia epidemic in America. Democrats and the mainstream media have been frantically attempting to hide the epidemic of pedophilia and grooming plaguing America. I would add to this that Republicans are in there too. Let's face it, and probably independents, who knows. Unfortunately for them, with the outbreak of monkeypox, a sexually transmitted infection that causes rashes, sores, and pustules, it cannot be denied or concealed any longer. The WHO has warned that gay pride festivals and other large gatherings could hasten the spread of monkeypox, with the WHO's Andy Seal declaring that gay pride parades should take place, as usual, despite the fact that the virus can be transmitted through sexual contact, and only that way, as far as I know. As a result, there has been an increase in monkeypox cases in the gay community. 2 months ago, the first publicized monkeypox patient revealed that he contracted the virus from gay sex with around 10 new partners after being deported from Dubai for testing positive for HIV, which they call AIDS, whatever that is. Since then, the virus has made a disturbing leap from gay men to children, and in alarming numbers. CDC Director Rochelle P. Walensky, doctor, admitted 2 cases in children known to the CDC have been traced back to the men who have had sex with men community, the gay men community. And so when we have seen those cases in children, they have generally been what I call adjacent to the community most at risk. That's interesting. Hold on a second. Who is the most at risk community? Obviously, Dr. Walensky is referring to the gay community. However, it appears that children are the most vulnerable. Obvious. Captain Obvious there. After all, they are not legally permitted to consent to sexual relations. It's no this statutory law. As usual, the left is preoccupied with their prized minority groups while ignoring the children. The explosive outbreak of monkeypox in children has revealed America's dirty little secret. Hundreds of thousands of children in the United States go missing every year, with many of them falling into the hands of predators who traffic the children through pedophilia networks where the children suffer unimaginable horrors. Children, young girls and boys, some as young as 9 years old, oh, there's some younger, believe me, are being bought and sold for sex in America. The average age for a young woman being sold for sex is now 13 years old. I would say that would be a girl. Sex trafficking, especially when it comes to the buying and selling of young children, has become big business in America. In 2011, this is, 11 years ago, it was the fastest growing business in organized crime and the second most lucrative commodity traded illegally after drugs and guns. As investigative journalist Amy Fine Collins notes, it's become more lucrative and much safer to sell malleable teens than drugs or guns. A pound of heroin or an AK-47 can be retailed once, but a young girl can be sold 10 to 15, more than that sometimes, and a righteous pimp confiscates 100% of her earnings. Rutherford.org reports that every 2 minutes a child is exploited in the sex industry. According to USA Today, adults purchase children for sex at least 2.5 million times a year in the United States. Who buys a child for sex? Otherwise ordinary men from all walks of life. They could be your coworker, doctor, pastor, or spouse, writes journalist Tim Swearens, who spent more than a year investigating the sex trade in America. In Georgia alone, it's estimated that 7,200 men, half of them in their 30s, seek to purchase sex with adolescent girls each month, averaging roughly 300 a day. And he goes on, and there's a couple girls, and they tell what's happened to them, and a couple little boys, and it's just horrific. Anyway, so what can you do? Educate yourselves and your children about this growing menace in our communities. Stop feeding the monster. Sex trafficking is part of a larger continuum in America that runs the gamut from homelessness, poverty, and self-esteem issues to sexualized television, the glorification of a pimp hoe culture, what is often referred to as the pornification of America, and a billion-dollar sex industry built on the back of pornography, music, entertainment, etc. This epidemic is largely one of their own making, especially in a corporate age where the value placed on human life takes a backseat to profit. It's estimated that the porn industry brings in more money than Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, and Yahoo. Call on your city councils, elected officials, and police departments to make the battle against sex trafficking a top priority, more so even than the so-called war on terror and drugs and the militarization of law enforcement. Stop prosecuting adults for victimless crimes such as growing lettuce in the front yard, and focus on putting away the pimps and buyers who victimize these young women. Finally, the police need to do a better job of training, identifying, and responding to these issues. Communities and social services need to do a better job of protecting runaways who are the primary targets of traffickers. Legislators need to pass legislation aimed at prosecuting traffickers and johns, the buyers who drive the demand for sex slaves. And hotels need to stop enabling these traffickers by providing them with brooms and cover for their dirty deeds. That so many women and children continue to be victimized, brutalized, and treated like human cargo is due to three things. One, a consumer demand that is increasingly lucrative for everyone involved, except the victims. Two, a level of corruption so invasive on both a local and international scale that there is little hope of working through established channels for change. And three, an eerie silence from individuals who fail to speak out against such atrocities. So we need to really focus on this tragedy. Many children are sent over the Mexican border for one thing and brought directly into this insanity. The link to the article is in the description. Follow Real News Forever and Sovereign News on Odyssey.com if you like. Thank you all for watching.